Hello, fans of the paranormal and UFO culture. I'm AJ Ensor, the author of The Human Quantum Leap. For those of you who do not know me, I am, among other things, a professional journalist. I started life in the United States Marine Corps, which is where I met my friend Joshua Smith. After a time, I left the Marines for the media world. Josh stayed in and became a member of the military intelligence community. In time, Josh would meet a man he knew simply as John. Throughout the years, Josh has always described John as an extraterrestrial, but would never use that term or the word alien. Like so many of you, I always refused to believe until I started asking complicated questions. And to my unending amazement, Josh returned with the answers. I have chronicled John, Josh, and many of the answers they gave me in the book, The Human Quantum Leap. The Human Quantum Leap is not hard to find. You can Google it or simply go to the webpage, returnofthedarkside.com. That's one word, returnofthedarkside.com. Return of the Dark Side is another book I wrote for all you Harry Potter fans out there. It has sold tens of thousands of copies, and while I have received some criticisms for it, most parents send me emails about how their child disappeared for a day or 2 or 3 just to read the book. So if you are a Potter fan, or you know someone who is, Return of the Dark Side makes a great gift. But if you are here to learn more about Josh and John, then click on the Quantum Leap book and you will come to this page. Here, for less than the price of lunch at McDonald's, you can download the book in any format you like. If you prefer a hard copy, scroll down to the right and click here. This will take you to the publisher's website where you can order a hard copy and have it delivered to your door in 5 to 7 business days. If you meet me at some book event, I'll be happy to sign it for you. Now, in this forum, you get to ask me questions. To submit a question, you just email AJENSR, there's no letter O, AJENSR at AOL.com, or you can look for me on Facebook. In an email from Marcos of Naples, Florida, Marcos asked, AJ, is travel between planets really like what we see in Star Trek and other sci-fi movies and TV programs? Well, Marcos, the short answer is that nothing is ever that simple. And if you just consider the amazingly complicated machine America built just to go to the moon, it took from the end of World War II to 1969 to make it happen, almost 25 years of the finest human minds on the planet working around the clock. The longer answer is that the machines built by spacefaring races to travel between stars are still beyond human imagination. According to John, the single most important substance that makes it possible for these ships to do what they do, travel between the stars, also happens to be one of the most dangerous materials anywhere in the universe. It's called stellar core fragment material, or SCF. Essentially, SCF is material blown out of the central core of a dying star in a supernova explosion. There's more than one way to harvest this material, but what is most important to understand is that a piece of this material the size of a penny weighs more than the entire island of Manhattan and everything on it. What this material does in a spaceship is make up the core of its propulsion system. SCF creates the charge that makes it possible for one of these ships to deploy a gravitational bubble around itself. The primary way to navigate between stars and planets is based on the electromagnetic field these bodies generate. It's a kind of fingerprint that not only goes out into space and can be read from incredible distances, the signature is also sent into the planet's gravity well and out through one-dimensional space. One-dimensional space is really difficult for human beings to understand. We are not wired to understand one-dimensional space because we are three-dimensional creatures. 3 dimensions is what we live in, and trying to think one-dimensionally is nearly impossible for us. But with few exceptions, there are just 4 dimensions in our universe, and we live in dimensions 2, 3, and 4. It is commonly thought that we live in 1, 2, and 3, and the 4th dimension is the alternate, but in fact, we live in 2, 3, and 4. What is important to remember is that all 3 of our dimensions are emergent properties of the first dimension. Everything we know and everything our universe is came from one-dimensional space. And it is this first dimension that spacefaring racers use to travel between the stars. Like I said, these ships use SCF to generate a gravity bubble around themselves. Then they use a planet's magnetic field to plot a course. Then they dive into the planet where they are and emerge at the planet where they want to be. How can you dive into a planet without crashing, you wonder? Well, when you generate a gravity bubble around a ship, you have essentially turned the ship into a subatomic particle of one-dimensional space. And in one-dimensional subatomic space, there is nothing solid. And because there is no such thing as time in one-dimensional space, the trip is instantaneous. And that, Marcos, is how extraterrestrials move between the stars. Remember, you can ask questions by emailing me. Don't forget to log on to returnofthedarkside.com and check out my book for all you Harry Potter fans. Goodbye for now. Thanks for listening. For the Human Quantum Leap, I'm AJ Ensor.